Kody Brown sits stiffly at the defense table, jaw clenched, hands twitching under the desk. His once confident swagger is replaced with a hollow stare, like a man who's already halfway to the gallows. Robyn sits behind him, not at his side. Her lips are pressed tight, face pale, like she's holding in a scream. Across the room, Christine leans forward slightly in her chair, chin lifted, her eyes cold and determined. Are locked on the man she once called husband. Janelle keeps her gaze low, lips moving just slightly, a silent prayer, or maybe just steady breathing. Meri hasn't said a word since she entered. She's in the back, in the shadows. Her expression is unreadable. The judge enters. Everyone rises. State of Arizona versus Kody Brown. The bailiff announces charges: fraud, coercion, psychological abuse. An unlawful spiritual union with a fifth party, not previously disclosed. Gasps ripple through the courtroom, not because of the charges, but because of those last 4 words. With a fifth party, the wives exchange glances. Except for Christine, she doesn't flinch. She knew this was coming. She's the one who made it happen. If you think the sister-wives drama ended with divorce, you haven't seen what happened behind closed courtroom doors. The camera pans to a side door, opening slowly. Heels click across the floor. A woman in a navy blue dress, mid-S, dark brown hair, enters with a legal team behind her. The crowd whispers. She's not familiar to most of them, but Robyn freezes as if she's seen a ghost. Christine's expression tightens and Janelle blinks hard, like she's doing everything not to cry. Meri. She closes her eyes just for a second. A long, painful second. This is her, the woman who wasn't supposed to exist. The fifth wife. 6 years ago, she was introduced to Kody under strange circumstances, a family friend who slowly started showing up at gatherings with soft smiles and deferential nods. He said she was from another branch of the faith, that she was seeking guidance. Now she's seeking justice. But today it's not her turn to speak. Not yet. Today, the prosecution opens with their first witness, Kody Brown. The room holds its breath as she stands and walks to the witness box, confident but careful, like she's walking through landmines. She's sworn in. The prosecutor, a sharp, steady woman named Dana Corrado, steps forward. Mrs. Brown, she begins. How long were you spiritually married to the defendant? Years. Christine answers. No hesitation. And when did you leave the marriage? November. Why? Christine swallows hard, then looks straight at Kody. Because I found out I wasn't his wife anymore. Not really. I was just coverage. A face for the show, a shield for his secrets. Truth isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers until it breaks you open. Kody shifts in his chair, visibly tense. His attorney leans in to whisper, but he shrugs her off. And what secrets are we talking about? Dana asks. Christine doesn't speak immediately. She breathes in, closes her eyes. You can see the storm behind her eyelids. He told me not to question him, not to snoop. That he was doing God's work. And when I did question him, he isolated me. He told the kids I was weak, disloyal. He even told Robyn to keep me away from the house. She turned slightly, eyes locking on Robyn. You remember that, don't you? Robyn doesn't respond, but her hands are trembling in her lap. Dana paces slowly in front of the jury box. Did you ever suspect he had another wife? Christine's jaw tightens. She nods. Yes, but I didn't have proof. Not until 2 years later. She reaches into her bag, pulls out a folded piece of paper, yellowed, slightly torn. His handwriting, she says. A marriage contract. Not legal, but spiritual. Same format we all had, only this one was dated. The courtroom murmurs. Dana takes it carefully, holds it up for the judge. Do you know who the woman was? Christine's eyes flicker to the back row. She's in this room. Secrets rot in silence, but once they're spoken, they burn. Meri looks down, hands in her lap, her eyes glisten. The judge calls a brief recess to examine the document. Christine steps down. In the hallway, she exhales shakily. Her daughters are waiting just outside the courtroom, their arms crossed, jaws tight. They're old enough now to know what he did, but it doesn't make it easier. Back inside, Kody won't look at the paper. He's staring straight ahead, like he can pretend it's not real if he doesn't blink. The judge calls court back to order. I find this document credible enough to proceed with further testimony. The name on the spiritual union, Jayla Thomas, is now a person of interest. That name hangs in the air like a warning. Jayla doesn't move. She just looks forward. Dana continues. We will now begin witness scheduling for Ms. Thomas, as well as further questioning of the listed spouses in chronological order. That means Janelle is next. She looks physically ill at the thought. But before anything more is said, the judge looks directly at Kody. Mr. Brown, do you wish to respond to these claims now? Kody doesn't move, until Robyn leans forward and whispers something in his ear. His face changes instantly, from stone to shock. He stands and says only 5 words. She wasn't supposed to talk. She doesn't just look determined now. She looks burdened. Like the weight of years of secrets of holding her family together by threads is finally catching up to her. She sits slowly, hands trembling just enough to notice. The court clerk swears her in again, and Dana Corrado steps forward with a voice full of quiet gravity. Mrs. Brown, we left off with your discovery of the spiritual marriage document. You confirmed the handwriting belonged to Mr. Brown, dated. Now let's talk about what happened before you found it. Let's talk about the betrayal. Christine pauses. She looks over to her daughters, sitting quietly in the gallery, then back to the judge. She adjusts the microphone. I'll tell you everything. It began in Flagstaff, late. Christine had been growing distant from the other wives. Janelle was pulling away quietly. Meri had already mentally checked out. Robyn was closer to Kody than ever, but something didn't make sense. Kody started disappearing for faith missions, sometimes for days. He said he was meeting with elders, but Christine knew better. He wasn't bringing his scriptures. He wasn't sharing revelations. He was hiding. One night after he returned from a mission, she asked a simple question. Were you with her again? Kody froze, his face twisted, not in guilt, but in rage. You don't question me like that, he snapped. You've forgotten your place. Her place, that was the moment something inside her cracked. Sometimes, it's not one big betrayal that breaks you, it's 1,000 quiet ones stacked in the dark. Christine goes on. Her voice shakes, but doesn't falter. He controlled us. All of us. Emotionally, financially. Every conversation, every choice, it had to be filtered through him. If we disagreed, we were disobedient. If we spoke out, we were divisive. He used our faith like a leash. Kody squirms in his seat, but he doesn't speak. Dana leans in. What about Robyn? Did she know? Christine nods slowly. I believe she knew the truth. Maybe not the whole story, but she protected him. Always, Robyn's eyes glisten. She shakes her head ever so slightly. He told her Jayla was a spiritual calling, that our faith allowed it, but he never told the rest of us. He said if we found out, it would destroy the family. And that's when I knew he didn't care about us. He cared about his image. You can survive heartbreak, but betrayal that leaves scars you never stop tracing. Then Christine drops the first major bombshell. He made my daughter lie for him. Gasps ripple through the courtroom. Dana's face hardens. Your daughter? Christine nods. Yes, she was. He asked her to help cover his location when he was visiting Jayla. Said it was God's will. Told her to say they were on a father-daughter retreat. She wipes her eyes now, voice trembling. She cried for 3 days after. She thought she'd go to hell, that it was her fault. In the gallery, one of Christine's daughters silently sobs, clutching her arm. The judge leans forward. Was this reported at the time? No, Christine says. She was too scared, and I was too broken. Back in the defense row, Robyn is whispering again, but this time, not to Kody, to her lawyer. Her whispering becomes more frantic. Her eyes dart. Panic rising. Suddenly she stands. Your Honor, her lawyer says. Miss Robyn Brown requests to be heard. The judge narrows his eyes. Now she has information relevant to the testimony, and she is no longer comfortable remaining silent. Kody's head whips around. Robyn, he hisses. She doesn't look at him. She walks forward, hands shaking. I want to testify. Every family has secrets. But some explode like grenades. When dragged into the light, she takes the stand. Christine returns to her seat, never taking her eyes off Robyn. The bailiff swears her in. Dana pauses, then steps forward carefully. Miss Brown, what is it you want to share? Robyn's voice is low, almost a whisper. I didn't know everything, but I knew enough to stay quiet, enough to protect him. She begins to cry, covering her mouth. I thought I was helping the family survive, but I was helping him lie to all of us. Christine looks stunned. Janelle closes her eyes. Dana doesn't press her yet. Instead, she lets her speak. He told me about Jayla 3 years ago, said it was spiritual that God wanted him to take another wife, but only in secret. That it wasn't time for the others to know. She turns toward Kody, finally looking at him. He said we'd lose the show, that Christine would make a scene, that Janelle was unstable, that Meri didn't matter anymore. Meri flinches slightly. I wanted to believe him, but I knew it wasn't right. I just didn't know how to leave. He made me believe I couldn't. When love turns into fear and faith turns into control, that's not family. That's a cage. Robyn's testimony lasts nearly minutes. She details small moments, conversations, emotional manipulation, fear, silent threats. Jayla's name spoken like a forbidden spell, but the biggest twist comes at the end of her statement. Dana asks one final question. Did Kody ever tell you how he met Jayla? Robyn nods. Yes, and where was that? Her voice drops to a whisper. At Meri's house, the courtroom explodes. The judge pounds his gavel, voices rise. Christine turns toward Meri in shock. Meri's face goes pale, then pink, then red. She doesn't speak, doesn't look up. The judge calls for order. Dana repeats her question, this time addressing the whole courtroom. Those words still hang in the courtroom air like smoke after an explosion. The silence that follows is worse than yelling. It's the sound of everyone trying to process what they just heard and failing. Meri Brown finally looks up. Her face is unreadable, but her hands are clenched so tightly her knuckles are white. The judge leans forward. Miss Brown, do you wish to respond to the statement made under oath? Her voice is hoarse when she speaks. I didn't know who she was. The court murmurs. I didn't know, Meri repeats. Louder this time. Scotty said she was someone from our old church network. He said she needed help, just like I did once. Christine shakes her head in disbelief. You brought her into our lives, Meri. I didn't know, she insists. He used me too. Kody looks away. Robyn covers her face. Some betrayals don't start with malice, they start with trust, and end with silence. Dana Corrado, calm but razor-sharp, approaches Meri with surgical precision. You're saying you unknowingly introduced the woman your husband would spiritually marry in secret? Meri nods. I had no idea. Dana pauses. And did you ever suspect after? Silence. Meri's voice trembles. Yes, a few times. There were calls, gifts, times when he'd disappear right after meeting her. But when I asked, he made me feel crazy. Like I was just bitter. You never told the other wives. No. Why not? Because I wanted him to come back to me. That lands like a brick. Christine's lips part. Robyn closes her eyes. Janelle, she stands. Your Honor, her attorney says. My client has urgent audio evidence to submit. Evidence that proves Mr. Brown and Miss Robyn Brown knowingly concealed this spiritual marriage and manipulated the family to maintain it. Now it's Kody who stiffens. His attorney leaps up. Objection relevance. The judge overrules. Let's hear it. Truth doesn't knock. It kicks down the door when you least expect it. Janelle walks forward, slower than usual, like she's carrying something fragile and dangerous. She opens her purse and removes a small voice recorder. This is from March. The night Robyn came to me crying. She thought he'd been with Jayla again. But he told her something else. Something I recorded to protect myself, in case I ever lost everything. She presses play. The room is dead quiet. Kody's voice crackles to life. She doesn't matter, Robyn. Meri's done. Christine's leaving. Janelle's tired. Jayla is the only one who still sees the profit in me. Robyn, but you said one more wife would break everything. The show, the faith, everything. Kody, then we lie. We lie and we survive, we've done it before. The audio ends, and so does the illusion. When the mask slips, some people finally see, others realize they helped hold it in place. The courtroom explodes again. The judge calls for silence. Kody's face is pure rage now. Lips curled, red-faced, fists clenched. Dana doesn't say a word. She doesn't need to. The judge looks at Kody directly. Do you deny this recording? Kody glares at everyone, eyes wild. And then for the first time he loses it. You want the truth? Fine. They all used me. Every single one of them. For money, for fame, for pity. Christine ran because she wanted control. Robyn played perfect. Janelle, she's been checked out since Vegas. And Meri, don't get me started. I gave everything to this family. He pounds the desk. They were supposed to obey. That was the agreement. Christine stands, you never wanted wives. You wanted servants. Kody sneers, you knew what I was. You all did. Abusers rarely see themselves that way, until their control crumbles. Then the monster surfaces. The judge slams his gavel. Enough. Mr. Brown, you will remain silent unless addressed directly. He sits back down, seething. Outside a storm begins. Rain lashes the courthouse windows. It's like the world itself is reacting. Then, the door opens again. Everyone turns. Jayla enters. This is the first time she's been back since that shocking first day. She walks differently now. Not quiet or unsure, but focused. Steady. The prosecutor glances at her. Your Honor, Dana says. The state calls Miss Jayla Thomas to the stand. Meri exhales sharply. Christine stiffens. Robyn won't look up. Kody mutters something under his breath, but the mic doesn't catch it. Jayla walks past all of them and sits. She adjusts the microphone. Her hands don't shake. She's ready. The clerk swears her in, and Dana wastes no time. Miss Thomas, can you tell the court how you met Mr. Brown? Jayla doesn't hesitate. At a home gathering, he said I was a gift from God, that I was chosen, that the others weren't obedient anymore. Were you legally married? No, spiritually, secretly. I was told it had to be hidden, that the other wives were too emotional, too worldly. She breathes in. He made me feel special. And then, he made me feel trapped. Some prisons don't have bars, just words, promises, and faith twisted into a weapon. Jayla's voice cracks only once. He told me I was nothing without him. That if I ever left, no man of faith would ever want me. He told me my soul would be cursed. She looks at the jury now and I believed him until I didn't. Dana nods. Thank you. We'll return for more questioning tomorrow. The judge agrees. We are adjourned until a.m. tomorrow. Jayla steps down, but just before she passes Kody, he whispers, but loud enough for the mic this time. You owe me everything. Jayla stops. Looks at him. No, she says. I owed myself everything and you stole it. And then she walks away. The courtroom is empty. Imposter Peter, outside the rain has turned into a soft mist, but the windows still hold streaks from last night's storm. Kody Brown sits alone in a side conference room, elbows on the table, face buried in her hands. She hasn't slept. She hasn't stopped replaying Jayla's words. He told me I was nothing without him. Kody knows that voice, that fear, that confusion wrapped in obedience. She lived it. They all did. But Jayla was younger, newer. She didn't have 2 decades of numbness to dull the manipulation. Kody's hands tremble as she pulls a dusty file folder from her bag. It's thicker than it looks. Dozens of pages. Receipts, scans, emails, evidence. She found it in a storage unit in Flagstaff 6 months ago, hidden inside a hollowed-out picture frame back when she was just trying to clean up her past. But what she found wasn't just junk, it was proof. Not all bombs make noise. Some just wait, quietly ticking, until someone is brave enough to open the box. Inside the file, a scanned email from Kody to a production manager. Dated, listing undisclosed expenses for marital counseling travel, a financial agreement with Jayla's signature and the words for confidentiality. A private memo to Robyn from a lawyer discussing property transfer in case of spiritual dissolution, and most damning, a notarized document from forged with Kody's name. Granting Kody full financial power of attorney over her assets in the event of a religious separation. She never signed it. She's sure of it. And yet her name is there. Kody exhales slowly. There's a difference between emotional betrayal and legal fraud. And this could ruin him, not just in court, but everywhere. She places the file on the table, then she picks up her phone. Janelle meets her outside the courthouse minutes later. They don't speak right away. Instead, they sit in the car, engine off, listening to the rain hit the windshield and gentle rhythms. Janelle reaches over and squeezes Kody's hand. You okay? Kody shakes her head. No, but I'm ready. She hands her the file. Janelle flips through it slowly, eyes widening. Where did you storage unit? It was an A-frame behind our first family photo. The irony, Janelle pauses at the forged signature. He used your name, Kody nods. He used all of us. Some people fall out of love, others fall out of denial, and the landing hurts just the same. Meanwhile, across town, Meri Brown sits in her hotel room, staring out at the gray sky. She's been replaying the trial in her mind over and over again. Her silence, her mistakes, her complicity. Meri used to believe she was the anchor of the family, the heart, the loyal one. But now she doesn't know what she is anymore. A coward, a victim, a woman who was so desperate to matter that she stayed quiet through other people's pain. She watches her phone vibrate across the desk. It's a message from Leon. Leon, are you okay? You've been quiet since court. She types, then deletes, types again. Deletes. She finally writes back.